starring Brandy, Schaefer, Zack Andrews, Bobby Rowe, Mikey Rowe, Jeff Larson, directed by Bobby Rowe, written by Zack Andrews, Bobby Rowe. Running time 101 minutes. The House's October build 2014 was a surprisingly satisfying little independent horror film. The found footage film was part documentary and part fictionalized horror. It found a group of friends touring the country in a motorhome and looking for the most extreme Halloween haunts. The film's chronicles visits to real-life Halloween haunts around the nation, featuring interviews with both workers and customers. However, their quest to find a legendary haunt known as Blue Skeleton leads them to be abducted and terrorized by those running the attraction, and the film ends with the friends seemingly buried alive. 3 years later, director Bobby Rowe, who co-wrote and co-stars in the film with Zack Andrews, are back with a sequel, revealing the fate of the friends from the first movie. Unfortunately, there's little narrative here to explain their survival other than the police arriving at the last minute to save them from being buried alive, and a true deus ex machina moment. The film next picks up a year later as the group has gained a measure of fame online for documenting their harrowing experiences. They have now become highly sought after by owners of Halloween attractions who pay them to visit their haunts and post their experiences online. The one catch is that they all insist that Brandy, who has become known on the internet as Coffin Girl, must accompany the rest of the group. While the four men are all gung-ho on the prospect, Brandy is still traumatized by the events and refuses until the group finally agrees to pay her the most and make sure she doesn't have to go inside any haunt that she refuses. Once again, the group finds themselves on the hunt for the most extreme haunts and soon begin to see signs for the mysterious Blue Skeleton. The group wakes up one evening to find their motorhome outside an old mansion. The location of Blue Skeleton is before the group is terrorized by the nameless and faceless people who run the haunt. The House's October build 2 remained on solid footing with some interesting footage and interviews of the country's more well-known haunts. One of the great appeals of the first film was the genuine performances of the actors, because they weren't giving a performance as much as simply being themselves. The sequel begins that way, and Brandy Schaefer dictates much of the narrative. Their experiences are truly terrifying in the Blue Skeleton haunt, as Brandy is led like a rat through a maze, and forced to endure one horrific scene after another. But here is where Rowe and Andrews get too cute for their own good. In a move that defies all logic, they decide to toss in a ridiculous plot twist that robs the film of its documentary-like raw energy, so a silly, implausible and incomprehensible WTF moment that falls flat. I sat there, staring at the screen blankly, trying to figure out what happened as the credits rolled by, and my confusion was quickly replaced by anger over the fact that what had been a worthy sequel was suddenly capsized. Do yourself a favor and cut the movie off with about 10 minutes left. Y'all thank me for it later. The House's October build 2 DVD review, reviewed by Timothy Jansen on October 31st. Sequel to surprise 2014 horror film stumbles during final minutes, rating 2.3, tags Halloween horror. House's October build 2.